It has now been over 8 years since the release of the Nintendo Switch, and with its successor, the Nintendo Switch 2 releasing in just a few weeks now, I thought it's a good time to look back at this amazing console and its games for one last time, and how it became my favorite console of all time. I remember watching the reveal trailer of the Nintendo Switch and being absolutely mind blown. It was the first time I saw something like this. A hybrid console, which was able to play on the go and at home. In addition to this, removable controllers, which you are able to turn into 2 controllers and play with friends. Nintendo had innovated once again and did something new and unique, and I was all for it. Still, by that time, I could have never imagined how amazing of a console generation this would eventually become. But skipping forward a bit, to the 3rd of March 2017 to be exact, the Nintendo Switch finally hit the stores, marking a new era for Nintendo. Alongside with the console itself, the Game of the Year winner and one of the highest rated and most influential games of all time was released. The Legend of Zelda: Breath of the Wild, and 6 years later its sequel, Tears of the Kingdom. This was Nintendo's way of going into a new direction with the Zelda series, and I can't express how mind-blowing this was, to play these games for the very first time. Being able to go anywhere you want, to climb every single mountain you see in the distance, and to just interact with the world in so many various creative ways. These games never told you you can't do something, and gave the player so much freedom. You could literally skip the entire story and head for the final boss if you wanted. The whole world was your playground, and it's just so much fun. No doubt that this game, Breath of the Wild, was one of the many reasons for the Nintendo Switch's huge success. But the year had just started, and Breath of the Wild was far from being the only great game released that year. Later in 2017 we got another amazing game, which I, alongside with Breath of the Wild, consider the representatives of this era, Super Mario Odyssey. Such a great game. This game is a gem and just a pure joy to play. Everything from the amazing movement Mario has in this game, like it genuinely feels so fluid and fun, and the addition of Cappy and all the creative captures. I was so glad that this 3D Mario was more open again, focusing on secret and collectibles, power moons in this game to be exact, instead of finishing more or less linear levels. This was just pure fun from start to finish, and one of the best games on the system. And let's not forget Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, which came out just a month after the release of the Switch, and went on to become the highest selling game on the console. Yes, a Wii U port, the most sold game. And this would only mark the beginning of Wii U ports, with many other titles making their way to the console, like New Super Mario Bros. U and Mario 3D Land, Donkey Kong Tropical Freeze, Pikmin 3 and Xenoblade Chronicles X, which I will get to later. At this point, you had basically access to almost the entire library of the Wii U on the Nintendo Switch. While Splatoon was already a big hit on the Wii U, its sequel, Splatoon 2, which released in the summer of 2017, just 2 years after Splatoon 1, cemented this brand and IP as one of the highest selling and most popular ones for Nintendo. This franchise just came out of nowhere and immediately became one of Nintendo's staples, rivaling the likes of Mario and The Legend of Zelda. This then led to the release of the single-player campaign Octo Expansion, one of the best DLCs on the system, and another awesome third entry with Splatoon 3. And this franchise hasn't even been around for 10 years by the time of the recording, and has already done so much. I'm excited where the Splatoon games will go next. And this didn't just happen with the Splatoon series. So many other great games finally got the recognition and popularity that they deserved, thanks to the Nintendo Switch. The Xenoblade Chronicles series, once a niche game which almost didn't release in the West, got 2 new games with Xenoblade Chronicles 2 and 3, and remakes of the first entry and Xenoblade Chronicles X, with Xenoblade X releasing just over a month ago, and it's absolutely amazing. I'm just so glad that these games finally get the spotlight they deserve, since these are my personal favorite games on the platform and in general. And let's not forget Kirby and the Forgotten Land, Kirby's first 3D adventure. I wasn't really familiar with the Kirby games, but I played this and immediately fell in love. Every level was fun and gorgeous to look at, and the whole game just had an amazing vibe. So I'm happy for Kirby to have hit new heights. And maybe you can help me hit new heights by hitting that subscribe button. Anyways, this trend continued throughout the entire generation, with basically every single franchise hitting the new highest selling numbers. Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, the biggest and best Smash game yet. Every single character from the past games was here. Every single trailer and announcement was pure hype. If you had told me that characters like Joker or Steve were coming to Smash Bros, I would have thought you're crazy. And I honestly don't know how they could make a better Smash than this in the future. And can we please talk about Animal Crossing's insane timing, literally releasing right when Corona hit and forced us to stay at home. Like, it's criminal how well timed it was. And this game just hit the jackpot. It helped so many people escape the reality, and I myself have put so many hours into this during the lockdown. Just playing on my island every day, visiting friends' islands, and just having fun. I think that fits pretty well. This whole generation was filled with bangers and it was just pure fun from start to finish. Of course, I can't talk about every single game here, so let me know if I missed something. And there are for sure some critique points, like the lack of a voice chat or menu customization options. But personally, I didn't mind and the positives outweighed this by far. Looking back, I can happily say this was such a great time and I hope the Nintendo Switch 2 will deliver just the same, or even better.